one game. It really is. So I'll put Favre ahead of Marino, but not because he won a Super Bowl. Because they played the same amount of time. I'm almost positive, I'm pretty sure Dan Marino also played 17 seasons, just like Brett Favre, and Favre has him in numbers. He has been, physically, and it's right there, the proof is right there, he has been more productive. He had a more productive career in those 17 years than Dan Marino. Nothing to do with the Super Bowl ring. Absolutely not. I mean, you know, yeah, it says Rex Grossman played in a Super Bowl. Right, a lot of people make it to a Super Bowl. Favre happened to win. He made it again, the next year and lost to John Elway. So, and I'm not banging on Brett Favre. I honestly think I don't think he's the greatest ever. But, he is what he is. He didn't dominate. He didn't rack up just rings. He doesn't have a gigantic collection of rings. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just a day looking back on Brett Favre's career. Now that the emotions are kind of gone. Okay, yeah, he's retiring. I'm not sure if he moves around in my rankings or not. I guess I do like leaving him right ahead of Marino. I'm not sure that I want to put him ahead of Elway. To me, those three are almost interchangeable. Smith Dog says Marino is just as great, even without a ring. Yeah, Marino was great. He was an amazing quarterback. And the thing about Marino is we can't sit here and name anyone who ran routes for Dan Marino. I mean, we can't sit here and name any receiver that he had. We can name some guys. We can name some guys that Brett Favre had. He never really had any Pro Bowl dominant types, but we can name some guys that he had. I mean, he had Freeman. He had Andre Rison for a while. He's had Don Driver here these last few years, and Don Driver is probably a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. He had Greg Jennings the last couple of years. You can name guys. You can name guys that Favre had around him. I mean, he had Dorsey Levens in the backfield at one point. When the only running back you can name that played with Dan Marino is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Just a guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, I mean, it's hard to... Those guys are really, really close, man. Really, really close in what they've done. And I'm not saying I don't have Favre ahead of Marino. I'm just saying that it's a lot closer than people make it out to be. And people give Favre the edge because of that Super Bowl ring. And I'm saying don't read too much into that. It's just a Super Bowl ring. And it's just one. You know what I mean? It's just one. One Super Bowl. And Dan Marino is really close to having one. He was there in the game. And Smith Dog makes a point. Favre played in the superior NFC while Dan Marino was in the Super Bowl drought-ridden, well put, AFC. Yeah, that for a while there, AFC couldn't win one. Not for anything. That's right, the NFC was just dominant. But still, you're there. It's one game. Any given Sunday, right? That's the old cliche. I mean, he had the chance. He had a chance to do it. But still, I mean, you have to look at it over the span. They both played the same length. They both played 17 seasons. Obviously, Favre got more starts. He started more games. And see, that's another thing. That's another reason that you put Favre ahead by a little bit. Not because of the ring, because of all the numbers. I mean, he started more games than any quarterback ever. At least back-to-back. At least, in a row. And, most yards ever, most touchdowns ever, everything. I mean, he's got all of them. So that's why you put him ahead of Marino. By just a little bit, though. By just a little bit. Because it's really close. It really is. So just one last thing about Brett Favre, and I saw this on ESPN First Take today. And then we're going to do a commercial and come back and talk a little more NFL. But on First Take, I saw that some couple, and I forget where they were from, just gave birth to twins. And I thought about this because, you know, I have one son named Braylon. Our next kid on the way, we don't know what the sex is yet. We're not going to know until it comes out. But if it's a boy, we're going to name him Kobe, most likely. So I'm going to have a Braylon and a Kobe. You know, two awesome sports names. But somebody actually named their twins. They named one of them Brett and the other one Favre. They were born last week. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was before he made his announcement to retire. But they named their twins, one Brett and one Favre. Can you imagine the kid named Favre? I mean, at least Brett's a real name. Jeez. Name the other kid Favre. So I thought that was odd. I thought that was funny. You guys might, Smith Dog says if you thought about it, okay, yeah, if it's a girl, Smith Dog wants to know, if it's a girl, we're going to name her Jersey. Yeah, just like New Jersey, Jersey. Yeah, pretty cool. Jersey Lynn.